Welcome. Thank you all for coming to the Banking and Consumer Affairs Subcommittee today. If you're live streaming on TV or if you're binge watching, this is episode number 2 of season 2024. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Representative Barrett, Bricken, Camper, Faison, Garrett, Lynn, Sparks, Vaughn, Chairman Powers. Chairman Powers, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Before we get going, we have any personal orders? Okay, Chairman Vaughn.
I would just like to point out my appreciation to the fashioned forwardness of some of my colleagues. Representative Garrett has taken on as his personal mission to bring about the social acceptance of the swacket. Half jacket, half sweater. And depending upon which angle you look at it, you can't tell which is which. It's just a phenomenal piece. And he's one of the few here who has the fashion forwardness to be able to not only wear it, but make me wish I had one. So I just wanted to tip of my hat to my colleague, John Garrett, for bringing forth the swacket.
Thank you, Chairman Vaughn. Representative Garrett, your name was called.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All I can say is to my esteemed chairman of the standing full committee is thank you for your comments, sir.
Anyone else? Okay, I happen to have one. My nephew is here today, all the way down from Campbell County. Jonathan Atkins is here today and visiting, so we're glad to have him and his group. So thank you for coming. Okay, before we start, I want to mention a couple of things. House Bill 1467 and 1470, Representative Towns, has been rolled to the special calendar. That'll be published with the final calendar. And House Bill 528, Representative Thompson, has been rolled to the special calendar, which will also be published with the final calendar. And the first bill on the calendar today is House Bill 2087 by Leader Lambeth, also being presented by Representative Bricken. And we have a motion and a second. We've got a motion and a second on the bill. Representative Bricken, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. If it's okay, I'll present it from my seat. House Bill 2087 comes to us from the Department of Financial Institutions, the only state department that's totally funded by fees and assessments on financial institutions and trusts and no taxpayer direct dollars for that institution. So bear that in mind as we look at this legislation. House Bill 2087 really accomplishes 4 things. One, it addresses the bank assessment fees, and it really just removes the federal regulator clause, I call it, from the bill that so the assessment is totally determined to the members, the banking community, based on the budget needs of the department and allocated proportionally. And it doesn't, and it removes that federal regulator aspect of it. The second part of the bill deals with trust companies' assessments that haven't been changed in roughly 30 years. And it basically says the department will set a budget and then allocate the trust fees proportionally to the trust companies based on that assessment. The third thing the bill does is raise the appraisal amount for bank-owned property from $250,000 to $500,000, and that just is needed because of the inflationary aspect of real estate over the years. And the third thing is pretty simple. It just deals with how the commissioner looks at trust company names that come over from the Secretary of State to be sure they're that whatever company that comes over is not engaged in trust activity. So they can use the word trust in their name as long as it's not misleading or it's a trust activity. So those are the four things the bill does. And with that, I certainly recommend approval.
Sorry, we were taking care
I
of a
know.
little parliamentary work here. Okay, do we have any questions on the bill from anyone? Anybody on the, I got a question on the bill. Okay, we're going to be voting on House Bill 2087. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 2087 moves out to full commerce.
Thank you, committee.
And we're going to take a little bit of a recess here, okay? And we'll be right back. Thank you. Okay, little change of plans here. Okay, House Bill 1467 will be going to the Workers' Comp Advisory Council, and that'll be heard when we get a referral back from them. And House Bill 1470 is going to be up today, and Representative Towns, you're recognized on House Bill 1470. Yes, we need a motion and a second. And second? Got a motion and a second. Representative Towns, you are up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, Mr. Chairman, members, this bill, the summary of the bill is really dealing with requiring manufacturers to provide powered wheelchairs to do the following. The purpose of providing service for powered wheelchairs make available to the independent repair provider or the owner of the manufacturer's powered wheelchair documentation, parts, embedded software, firmware, or tools that are intended for use in the powered wheelchair. With respect to a powered wheelchair that contains an electronic security lock or other security related functions, make available to a provider and the owner documentation, parts, embedded software, firmware, or tools needed to reset the lock or function when disabled in the course of providing services. And also, the bill clarifies the requirement above does not apply to the following. As a part that is no longer available to the manufacturer or conduct that will require the manufacturer to divulge trade secrets, except that the manufacturer must not refuse to make available to a provider or owner documentation parts, embedded software firm, where tools necessary to provide service on the grounds that such items are themselves trade secrets. This bill also provides that the manufacturer is not liable for faulty or otherwise improper repair provided by a provider or an owner. This bill does not alter the term of a contract or the arrangement between the manufacturer and the authorized provider, nor does it require a manufacturer to provide a provider or owner access to information that the documentation that the manufacturer provides to an authorized provider pursuant to a contract or other arrangement with the authorized provider. Basically, what it is allowing people to be able to repair their wheelchairs without having some problems with the insurance and things of that nature. That's essentially what the bill seeks to do, allow you to repair your wheelchair without having some difficulties. And many times they break down, you have to go and try to fix it. And those wheelchairs are essential to people that are needed for transport and to do certain things. That's in short, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions for the sponsor? Chairman Bond. Tell him I'm not here.
Representative Towns, I like the spirit of your bill, but whenever I first saw it, I spoke with some folks who have a great deal of experience in the mobility business, even a colleague of ours, and it's my understanding that there may be another bill that comes that maybe we see this year that has to do with this, because I've got some concerns about the proprietary software and the firmware, and that's where all the secret sauce is made for people who they get paid back for their innovations as they make these materials, and to put these chairs together. And that's kind of like if we make them give up what they've spent all this research and innovation investigation on, forcing them to give that up it's kind of like throttling them back from getting paid off or getting paid back for their investments in their product. And one of the reasons why I didn't mind you getting rolled this was because then we could find out. I thought that it was just part of the deal because there was going to be another bill out there that had language that was had more routine maintenance items in it rather than it did the software and firmware and that type stuff that's involved with it. And that's what I would encourage you to, if we could roll. I didn't foresee this roll as being a way of dispensing with this. I thought it was going to give us time to figure that out as we move forward, because I thought there was another bill coming on the same topic. And so that was what I thought was going on here. And I would encourage that to happen, because I think that the language that has been explained to me on the other version, I would alleviate a lot of my concerns with the fact that we're taking somebody's innovation and forcing someone else to be able to use it. And that's where I'm coming from on this bill, because I don't have a problem with the spirit of it. It's just some of the technicalities of it.
Representative Towns.
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you. And thank you for that, Chairman Bond. I'm certainly amenable to that. And what I really want to do is, don't want to cause any heartburn for them, but I have to look out certainly for the person that's in the wheelchair. Okay. So if the time would give us a little bit of time, I need to talk with you so I get the real lowdown on it. I'm more than happy to do what the chairman initially said. No problem. If we need 1 week or 2 weeks, I'm receptive.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I
Chairman
think we're in
Bond.
the posture to where if we roll it, we're going to go to the last calendar. But I think in the meantime, that other bill may be brought forward and you can sign on to it or something. But here in just a second, I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay, please.
Thanks.
Okay.
And did you want to comment, Representative
I
Towns?
think we'll roll to the special.
Okay,
So,
let me just mention one thing too,
Please.
and let's you and I talk about this too.
Yes, sir.
But I was also told that because of the insurance coverage now, that if somebody ran out, if the warranty actually ran out on
Right.
it, that the insurance coverage will pick it up and carry it and cover any other needed part or anything like that until that person needed a new wheelchair. So it was almost like it may not need to be done because everything's going to be covered for them until they actually order a new one. So let's talk about that too.
Mr. Chairman, and that sounds good to me. And in this equation, I've not been, that information has not been shared with me. So that sounds.
Okay, if no objection, we're going to roll House Bill 1470 to the special calendar. And do we have any other comments, questions, answers, anything? Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, and I just wanted to mention too, one announcement I had is Commissioner Gonzalez is going to be here next week doing a presentation for us. We always look forward to that, and he'll be updating us on all the financial institutions. And did you all have? Okay, and so we're looking forward to that, Commissioner. You do a great job, and we appreciate you coming back and doing that for us. So, without objection, we're going to. Do we have a motion? We don't. Motion to adjourn. We're adjourned.